No pass? No entry. This happened quite a few years ago. I started a new job in IT support. After a couple of weeks training and orientation, I was put on my first early shift. IT support were always the first in the building to make sure all the systems were good before the working day started. So I was given my own key to the front door to unlock the building. The entrance had a kind of airlock system. The outer door was unlocked, but then there was another automatic door that needed a swipe card to open it. Everything was fine for the first few days. Entered the building. Got on with the work. Then, this particular morning, as I unlocked the door, the head of HR walked up behind me. I recognized him as he had sat in on my job interview. I said, "Good morning," swiped my card and walked in. He followed me. As soon as we were in the building, he pulled me up and told me I shouldn't have let him in without him swiping his pass. His argument was that he might have been fired the day before, so might have been trespassing. The swipe card system was not used to monitor people's work hours or anything like that. I apologized profusely and he said he'd let it go this time as I was new. Fast forward 2 works. I'm unlocking the door and a complete stranger walks up behind me and tried to follow me in. I turn round and ask him to use his pass. He says he has forgotten it. I say then I can't let you in. Then he drops the bombshell. But I'm the CEO. I apologize and say sorry, I only have your word for that, and I'm under strict instructions from the head of HR not to let anybody in without a pass on pain of disciplinary action. He got quite angry and said again he was the CEO. I apologized again but left him in the airlock, with a face like thunder, and heard him shout something like, "I'll have your job for this," as I walked away. Later that day, I got a phone call from the head of HR. I thought he was going to bollock me. But instead he said that I did the right thing and he was going to get the CEO to apologize to me. I did get a short email from the CEO to that effect later in the day. CEOs can tend to forget that not everyone recognizes their face and knows their name. Even if I knew his face and name, I would be hesitant to let them in for fear of failing a test. If there is a no entry policy, the CEO is the #1 follower and enforcer of this policy. To do otherwise simply sets an example for all to ignore the policy. I work for USPS. And when I was a newbie, a guy came through the combination lock door behind me. No uniform. No visible badge. I stopped. Asked if I could see his ID. It was the city's postmaster. Later, the station manager came to me and said, "Thank you for asking for his ID." The PM told her I did a good job. Reminds me of the place I worked at 16 years ago. We had 1,000 employees in 5 locations when I left in 2010. Roughly 150 employees in 2 locations now. Anyone on the production area had to be wearing an ESD smock and grounding straps. Neither were needed anywhere else. After a couple failed security audits and some seriously impressive phishing numbers, we instituted a policy of no ID. Escort them out the nearest door. Only 2 doors on the main building had swipe entry. Only 1 door in the building across the street had swipe entry. The other 2 facilities were both elevator and door swipe. Some of us had full access. Couple times the CEO or COO would mention at the monthly staff meeting that they got kicked out the back door. We all knew who they were. We just loved the policy of kicking people out. The same place also had people holding the doors open when we had friends that no one knew walk in and carry out $50,000 Spectrum analyzers during coffee break. And the last social engineering event while I was there received 400 username and password combinations in exchange for chocolate bars. Even CEOs can get fired. As the HR dude correctly said, either of them, could have been a security risk, trying to lift some IP from their computers before IT recovered it from their office. Doesn't matter if his picture is in the front hallway. You did the right thing. I worked at a call center many years ago where we had a similar system and rule. The director was the door trying to get in and I just wanted at him and pointed to the sign to call security for assistance. The rules apply to everyone or no one. That's simple. Assuming you're telling me the truth, should you be upset that I'm following your rules that you are to see enforced? Or are you saying that I should start telling everyone that the policy is now void? Quote, wow, did ya print out the apology and frame it? For whatever reason, you joined a club with very few members. Sorry dude, rules are rules. Lol. Wow, a head of HR with a backbone. Makes a nice change. Working in IT security, I wish everybody was this careful. I had a similar tailgating incident as well. New person tried to follow me into a controlled area. I told them to swipe in after the door closed. Really? But then I have to get the badge out of my purse. Well, I've never seen you before so I don't know if you're authorized. The badge will confirm your identity. Found out it was a temporary contractor who only stayed for 3 months before leaving. The CEO should congratulate you for doing that. If the rules don't apply to them, why should they apply to anyone else? Shouldn't have mattered whether they were the CEO or not. There's one campus that have worked a handful of times that piggybacking when going through doors can easily cause you to lose your badge and thus job. Everyone who works there knows this and thus most are very strict about making sure that it doesn't happen. A few months later I'm at a different campus. Orders of magnitude smaller. Also unrelated. And badging for only some of the doors. Took me a while to not be bothered by piggybacking. The badging just made it faster to get downstairs. Where I used to work, allowing anyone in without them swiping their card was an instant firing offense. You did good. Wow, that took a surprise turn for the good. The airlock is called a man trap. Where I work now, if you don't have a fob you need to be buzzed in by security. Students aren't supposed to take the elevator without a pass, but sometimes they'll piggyback with a janitor or teacher. Elevators are swipe to call, swipe to ride. Where is the malice? This is just compliance. Even the head of HR said you were in the right.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.